Hi and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new reading vlog. As I'm filming this, I literally just finished my current read this morning, which was Reckless, I think, the fourth book in the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver this morning, and I did talk about that one in my last reading vlog, as well as my read before that. But that means since that read was a buddy read and the read before that, or that I read like simultaneously with that, was a book club read, so I haven't really picked my own reads for a while, and before that I was in a massive reading slump. So to kind of further get out of my reading slump, I do have to say my last reading vlog, which I've just finished, did help me a lot getting out of the reading slump. Even though I did not manage to read 100 pages a day every day, it still helped me kind of get back into it and be more aware of picking up a book whenever I had time to. So I am back to being excited to read, but I feel like I'm not fully out of it yet. So I think I need to pick a read that's really gonna grab my attention and that I really have been itching to read, to kind of get that motivation. So I thought we would do a mood reading vlog this week. It is currently Tuesday, so I will be mood reading at least until next Tuesday, I think. Maybe longer, maybe shorter. It depends on how many books I manage to read, maybe, or how I'm feeling. But yeah, I thought that would be a good little like part 2 of me trying to get out of this reading slump that I've been in. Today I only had some online classes for uni, which is why I've managed to do some reading, and other than that I did have the day pretty free because I was supposed to be at my like practice internship school, but they had like 2 days off, so I wasn't able to go there. So I've just been studying at home. I've been taking it easy. I worked yesterday and I've just had a busy few days before that as well. But I am excited to read today because I think I know what my next read will be, but I will take you guys along with me to my TBR little shelf for this month, and we will pick out the first read of this video. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring you to my little TBR shelf. So here we have it. The limit goes here. I don't have anything to kind of like limit that. And then Fearless and Fearful are not officially on my March TBR, but I just have them there because I do need to get them read. But these are the ones that are officially left of my March TBR, which is quite a lot. It is currently the 17th of March, by the way, so I do have quite a few days left of the month to read. And while I think that I'm also very excited to read A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber, I'm definitely excited for a thriller that's gonna grab my attention, and no one does that like Alice Feeney, and I've been itching to read this one for a long time. Okay, I just took you guys back for a minute while I talk about this book. But yeah, I've been itching to read this one for a long time. Alice Feeney is my favorite thriller author. I've read, let's see, Rock, Paper, Scissors, Sometimes I Lie, His and Hers, Beautiful Ugly by her. Is that it? I'm not sure. I think that might be it. But I've loved every thriller that she's written, that I've read so far, and I definitely want to read her entire backlist, which I don't think I have that many left to read, so that is exciting. But this one is the one I want to get to next. I've heard a lot of good things about it. It's very thin, like 335 pages. And I just know that with Alice Feeney, with the books that I've read by her so far at least, I just want to keep reading because she has some very interesting like plot twists in her books. She has you wondering what the heck is going on in her books. So yeah, I'm super excited. I have not read like a good thriller in quite a while. I don't know if I've read any thrillers this year, since in February I basically did not read anything. So this is the first book we are picking up today. Let's see how many days it takes me to finish this, and let's see if this will help me further with me getting out of my reading slump. And then once we finish this one, we will pick our next book to read in this video. I'm super excited for this week. I'm super excited to finally do some mood reading, and I will take you guys along with me. Okay, I'm about to start chapter 2, literally 7 pages in, and I'm already intrigued. Alice Feeney never fails to do that, so I'm so excited. I only made it 30 pages in yesterday, so I'm currently on chapter 5. So I did not get far. I did start reading a little bit later in the evening for being me, so I got tired. But I'm definitely still intrigued. I feel like this far we've mostly gotten introductions to Daisy Darker's family because okay, so we're reading from Daisy Darker's perspective, kind of, and she goes to visit her nana at her nana's place, and then her family members get there, and we do know that, like, we get hints that they all have secrets, including Daisy herself, but we don't know yet what those secrets are. So I'm guessing that throughout the book they will get uncovered. I think there might also be a murder or a death. This is set in October, I guess October, November. So it is definitely not a spring book, but that doesn't really matter to me because, I mean, thrillers in general tend to be a little bit more autumnal, whatever. But I love to read them any time of year. So, so far, there has not been a lot of mention about that because it does say on the back that it's Halloween. I'm definitely intrigued to keep reading. I do have some studying to do tonight, but I think I will start reading now and then see how far I get and then update you guys whenever I have something to update you on, I guess. And then we'll see. I'm super intrigued. I'm so happy to be back in Alice Feeney's books and writing. I feel like Alice Feeney references like the bird robin in every one of her books, or is that just me? Because in Rock Paper Scissors that was definitely like a bigger part, but I think I remember her mentioning that in Beautiful Ugly as well. His and Hers, I'm not sure because I read that before Beautiful Ugly, but yeah, there is a mention of the bird robin in this one as well, so I might have to look it up why she puts that in her books. Also, the Halloween references have started, but it's not bothering me. I think most murder mysteries are overrated, Nana says. There are much cleverer ways to end a person than killing them. It's time to finish this bad boy. I only have like 60 pages left, and I have one theory, but a loose one. I have no idea. It is now Sunday. I've just gotten back from being away all day, but my partner is currently watching hockey, so I thought I would do a little bit of a reading update before starting my next book, because yesterday morning I ended up finishing Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. So as you know, I've been reading this since Tuesday, I think, so I did end up finishing this pretty fast, I would say. And I did thoroughly enjoy this one. I feel like this one was a little bit slower than some of her other books that I've read. And this is my 5th Alice Feeney book, I believe, and it's definitely not my favorite, just because I kind of saw the twist coming. I thought it was kind of far, I don't know. it just wasn't as mind-blowing as many of her other books have turned out to be for me. Maybe that is because I have read so many of her books before. I'm not sure. I did definitely enjoy this though, and I definitely recommend to read this around Halloween, because this one is set during the night of like the 30th and the 31st of October. So it's set throughout one night. It did drag a little bit, maybe I already mentioned that at some points, but I definitely enjoyed it. And it's very different from her other books that I've read so far, so big recommendation. Not my favorite by her, but I think I'm landing on a 3.5 star rating for this one. I was between a 3.5 and a 4, but 3.5 feels right for this one. So definitely recommending this one if you want a good short little thriller. And that leads us to my next book, because I did promise my partner that I would sit out there with him and watch, or be there while he watches the ice hockey game. So we are picking up my next read to start now. These are the books that I still have on my TBR for the month of March, as well as my reread of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, but I'm not picking that right now since I just read a thriller. So we have You Found Oliver by Dustin Thau, which is like a sad romance. We have A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber, which is the last part of the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. So that is a YA fantasy series. And then we have Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, which is the second book after Ninth House, which is a dark academia. So we have 3 very different vibes. And I think the one I'm going for is A Curse for True Love. I'm just craving an easy read, but also like a magical, whimsical one. I did read a fantasy not too long ago, but that is definitely very different vibes than this one. And since I already know the world and I know that these books are very fast-paced, this feels like the perfect pick for now, because I'm also going into an exam week where I have 2 major math exams. So I think something easier to read and that will grab my attention will definitely be the way to go for this one. So A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber is the book that I'm going to start reading today, and I will keep you posted. Good morning. It is now Monday and I have about 20 minutes before having to go to uni. So I thought I would come out here and update you guys real quick, especially to not wake up my partner who works night shifts. But as you know, I did start A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber yesterday, and I flew through the first part. Like, I was immediately invested and back into this world. So I ended up reading over 100 pages without really realizing, so I'm so glad to be back. I'm also sad that it's gonna end, but she is releasing a novella with these characters, or in this universe, I guess. So I won't have to wait too long to get something more, which is kind of helping my spirits with finishing off this series. But yeah, that is the update for now. I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far. I'm about to just make some breakfast, probably read while eating my breakfast, because I'm just really into the book, and then we will head to uni and probably do some more reading later tonight. Right, so you probably haven't noticed, but at this point it's been a few weeks, I think, since I actually filmed the last clip for this video, and I only need to film an ending clip. So for everyone who stayed this long into this video, I want to thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to press that like button and to subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed. And I hope to see you again in my next video.